Gradually, an emerging picture was beginning to formulate. The final piece of evidence against Johnny was his own confession. Or was it? Modern technology has enabled us to take a closer look at his confession, and we found one or two interesting anomalies of a discrepant nature. In the sentence implicating himself, for instance, between the words did and it in the phrase I did it, the words not in any way do seem to have been crossed out. And instead of the sentence you've got the wrong guy again, the confession reads you've got, and then written in crayon over the top, the right man all right, and that's for sure. He is also alleged to have gone on to remark at the wonderful job the police do in often difficult circumstances.
The blood tests were the most conclusive part of the evidence against him, of course.
This was DNA testing, was it?
No, primarily the colour. And sticky. And runny.
So you're saying that Johnny Sargent was convicted on the grounds that his blood was red, sticky and runny?
If I may say so, that's very much a layman's viewpoint. There are, of course, much longer and more Latinate words for it.
Clearly, a smokescreen of subterfuge was beginning to present itself. But if Johnny Sargent was innocent, who was or were the real murderer or murderesses? We find out after the break.
Following the soaraway success of GMTV, KYTV presents its own early morning program, VGMTY-TV. That's a very good morning to you television. Every morning at 7, The Flex Interview.
But you can't seriously be putting that forward as a realistic option. I mean, what past evidence do you have to base it on?
Well, I always use 2 eggs for an omelette.
And at 7:30, fun for all the family in our new virtual reality game show.
I am the master of Zack. There are 5 worlds. Which asteroid will you journey to? Mrs. Dorothy Blenkinsop of Bracknell?
Followed at 8 by the Debbie McGee Hour.
And my very special guest is Rob Curling. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Debbie.
Now, I haven't seen you since I was your guest on the Rob Curling Hour.
That's right.
Terrific.
Then at 9, join Anna and Mike on the sofa with regular features such as Desert Island kitchen utensils.
And for your 5th utensils?
Oh, well, I think it would have to be the spatula. Can I give you the potato?
Vinnie Jones. Hemlines, are they going up or coming down this year?
VGMTY-TV on KYTV.
KYTV. Criminal broadcasting at its best.
Johnny Sargent was convicted on November the 19th, 1978. But there were some in this court who, when it came to Sargent's innocence, may have been party to rather more in the area of knowledge than they otherwise might have been thinking they were. The court heard first how the defendant was an honest young man who had suffered from a deprived childhood. The counsel for the prosecution, however, said that the court should ignore the criminal's upbringing and concentrate on the heinous crime he had willfully committed. In reply, the counsel for the defence reminded the court that as yet no evidence had been substantiated, and he urged the jury to be as sensible and rational about the evidence as it was in their power to be. At this point, the clerk of the court interrupted to draw the judge's attention to the way the case was being represented by the court artist. After studying the pictures, the judge then ordered that the court artist be ejected from the courtroom. Clearly, there's sufficient evidence to suggest that Johnny Sargent did not commit the murder. Or is there? Yes, we believe there is. But what of the 2 men in the Red Fox pub, which Colin Blaine named as the murderers? A clue might lie in a raid that took place 2 months before the murder on the National and Prudent Building Society, as this video shows. All would appear normal, but on closer inspection, 1 or 2 telltale signs could be seen to flagmark the ensuing crisis. The man leaning on the counter, for example, clearly clutching a firearm in his jacket pocket. The man at the back of the queue, displaying a sawn-off shotgun. And for those eagle-eyed enough to spot it, a 3rd member of the gang cunningly concealed behind an unobtrusive mask. But if we freeze the picture and zoom in, we can clearly see what appalling quality closed-circuit television is. Nevertheless, with the aid of simple, modern electronic audio filter high-frequency eradication technology, we've been able to decipher a small part of their conversation.
Sorry, chat. Balak. Balak. Sorry, chat.
Yeah. Terrible.
Is your balaclava itching you?
So this will appear to have been the clue. Or will it have been being? Analysing the tape, voice experts have managed to establish from phonetic modulations that one of the robbers was a Welshman and that the other had recently returned from a caravan holiday in the West Country. And Home Office phonologists studying the shape of his skull managed to verify that his name was Ted Herbert on the little label in the back of his shirt.
KYTV means more on TV. 24-hour non-stop movies on our More Movies and Movies Plus channels. And now our brand new Even More Movies Plus Extra channel. Even More Movies Plus Extra classic black and white films given new life by being specially colorised by KYTV. And with much of the dialogue updated for the 90s.
I'm bored with all this train shit. Let's go do some crack.
Yeah, good idea.
3 all-action movie channels to choose from, not forgetting our all-day movie channels, so called because it shows the same movie all day.
Film, cinema, movies, entertainment, all for you.
So who was this Ted Herbert? Obviously an elusive cookie to uncover. Or was he? We set up a meeting with an underworld agent. For obvious reasons, he cannot be identified.
Ted Herbert? Yeah, I knew Ted Herbert, all right. We all knew Ted Herbert. Or should I say Police Constable Ted Herbert? Police Constable Ted Herbert? Yeah. We all knew he'd done the mockery murder, but they put Johnny Sargent in the frame for it. I asked him straight out at the time. Did he do it? He just laughed. This really chilling sort of laugh. Terrifying. Yeah, he lives in Bristol now. Retired there and bought himself a little drug business. He'll deny it, but he did it all right.
The runaway train. You're listening to the Jimmy Young program, which is coming to you live from Hong Kong, where the time now is 6:30 minutes.
Using a secret camera hidden in a hat and a microphone in the sound recordist's anorak, we set up a meeting with former Detective Sergeant Ted Herbert on the pretext of wanting to purchase some narcotics.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for sound.
Here we go.
Yep.
Hi, Mr. Herbert. I'm Alfred. I rang about
come in.
Sorry? Sorry, what did you say?
I said I haven't got very long, so we'll have to get a bit of a move on.
Okay, that's fine now.
Yeah, the stuff's over here.
Sorry. Can you speak up a bit?
He's a bit deaf, actually, so could you...
Oh, sorry, yeah, no, the stuff's over here.
Yeah, how much do you want, then?
You've been wearing a hat all day?
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Put it down here, shall I? Actually, I think I'll put my hat back on again.
Oh.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying there's stuff's here, I actually want it.
Go back a bit.
What?
If you go back a bit.
Yeah, right.
And towards the light, there.
Yeah.
Could you... That's better, yeah. Open one of those bags for us.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What's that noise?
Clearly, Mr. Herbert's proving to be something of a slippery fish to crack. So, this time we've rigged up a hidden camera inside his house, and so as not to arouse the suspicions, I've opted for the inconspicuous disguise of a market researcher testing new varieties of ice cream. Okay, so tell me, do you think this one's creamy?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Very good. And what about this one?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more or less creamy than the first?
About the same.
About the same. What about the 38th one? More or less creamy than the first?
I don't know, it's about the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
And did you murder Harry Mockery?
You what?
Nothing, I was just curious. I'm going to throw some yogurt. 93 of these.